Welcome to Envision. And my name is Emily He. I'm the CVP of Microsoft Business Applications. We have Christopher Robbins from Lummus and Keith Perfect from Northrop Johnson. I think their names are just awesome. So, I'm going to sit down as well. Welcome to the stage. Thank you so much for joining me on stage. Why don't we start by having you introduce yourself and the organization and talk about what the company does as well as your charter within the organization.
Definitely. My name is Keith Perfect. I'm the Director of Technology with Northrop Johnson. We are the world's leading super yacht brokerage and charter company. So we help people buy, sell, and rent yachts all around the world. I've been with the company 5 years now, and when I first started, we implemented Dynamics 365, and over time we've grown it so it basically powers almost every department in the company.
Thank you, Keith. Yeah. Every time I see Keith, I want to go on a field tour with him. Okay.
My name's Chris Robbins. I'm a manager of the application development group at Lummus Technology. I started at Lummus Technology about 10 years ago, actually as a process engineer, and I've become in charge of all of our application development work because I just broke everything and found ways to fix it. And low code and Power Platform has really enabled us to drive that modernization effort that we're pushing through right now. Forward.
Right. Thank you so much. I know both of you have been longtime Microsoft customers, so thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your business. Why don't you walk us through what you have done with Microsoft technology, in particular, anything you've done with Copilot?
Yeah, so we're a very sales and marketing focused organization. With the sales Copilot coming out, our sellers were so excited when we presented this to them in the meeting. I've never seen them so excited about technology before, and I've been presenting technology to them for a long time. But being able to have emails written for them or data automatically pulled from emails and phone calls to go into their contact records, they loved it. And to be honest, getting salespeople excited about CRM, it takes a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Chris?
So from the development side, we've actually had a huge impact with GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot has made our developers 4 times more efficient than they were. They're able to just write a little comment and it'll develop the code for them. It's a great 80% of the code generated, and then they're able to refine that last 20%. It truly is a Copilot, and it's been amazing for us. We're also using it with Power Platform for getting our flows to be made faster. So we're able to, one of the hardest things with Power Platform when you're building a new Power Automate flow is adding all the different unit ops that you need to add to the flow. You're able to much more quickly deliver those unit ops into the flow, and then you can move them around if you need to, but you're able to do it faster just because they're already there. You don't have to go looking through the search to find what you're looking for. You've built the majority of your flow, and you're able to move on from there.
Yeah. Keith, thank you. Keith, I want to ask you a follow-on question. I know your company also uses the Customer Insight Copilot.
Yes.
And you use that to execute a lot of marketing campaigns. One of the things I didn't have time to walk through is our Marketing Copilot, so I would love for you to spend a minute talking about that.
Yeah, definitely. So our clientele buying yachts and chartering yachts are ultra high net worth individuals. And so it's important that every touch point we have is exactly on point and correct and personalized. And so using the Copilot features and customer insights has really helped our marketing team combine that data into a unified profile. So all of our different data sources, whether it's from the website or the CRM or other third-party systems we have, comes together to a united profile, which is great. But then it was really hard to query and get deep insights before Copilot. But Copilot allows just kind of a normal marketer without any query language or anything, just to ask questions and get great answers back on the data. And it's really helped us improve our personalization and marketing efforts.
That's awesome. I know it's still early, as I mentioned, even in our organization, we're working very hard to quantify the business benefits of Copilot, but it's still very early. I would love to hear any early signs of business benefits or any lessons you've learned.
Yeah, I'll take that one first. So, like I was saying earlier, we're seeing our developers be 4 times more efficient with their work. That's a huge benefit to the business. We're able to fail faster, even failing faster because we're able to get to that debug faster, find the little nuance that's needed for every little program that you develop, for everything like that. And then when I'm debugging something, I'm also able to ask Copilot, ChatGPT, whichever tool I'm using at the time, what does this error message mean? I'm a chemical engineer by background. I'm not actually a developer. I've learned it on the fly through using tools like Copilot. It's been an amazing experience for all of my development team just to be able to see that benefit there. And the business is really excited. They keep asking for things like the chatbot against our internal knowledge source, and we're trying to work through how do we roll that out and things like that. So there's a lot of excitement in the organization because we all see that potential benefit, and it's really just how do we unlock it next.
Exactly. Thank you, Chris. Keith?
Yeah, we've seen with the marketing or customer insights Copilot, it's made it a lot easier for our marketers to adopt the app, right? Less training that we have to do for new hires, which is really nice, and also just makes people much more comfortable and productive at their jobs. And on the sales side, we've recently seen about a 30% reduction in time it takes to sell a yacht, which is really big. You know, we're a lot like a real estate brokerage firm, so the faster we can sell something, the better.
And these yachts are very expensive, so that huge amount of revenue. One of the things I know many customers who are sitting in the audience are thinking about deploying Copilot, and maybe they're a little bit concerned. And I was wondering if you can share with them any advice you may have on how they can get started. Why don't we start with Chris?
Sure. You actually made a great point earlier where you said the Copilot is just like a really eager intern. It really is. You have to coach it a little bit, give it a little bit additional background, but once you do that, you're really able to leverage Copilot to the full extent of its abilities. Figuring out how to prompt and really treating it like it's a coworker is one of the best ways to adapt to the Copilot and get it to work with you and get you down that path faster.
Right. That's great advice. What about Keith?
I recommend the crawl, walk, run. You'll start easy with it, and just always make sure that you've got someone checking the work. And while it does 80, 90% perfect, that other 20, 10%, we still need humans to check that stuff, but that still increases our productivity huge. So just, don't completely rely on it.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to it. It's a different skill to interact with Copilot as a coworker.
Yeah.
It's a different relationship you have to build. So get started and experiment and learn from the experience. Because you're early adopters and you're kind of visionaries in the AI space, I wonder what is your prediction of the future? So how do you think AI will impact organizations and especially in the business functions?
I think it's going to impact everybody. Already our sales and marketing team have been impacted, but I can see all team members making use of this. And if they're not using Copilot, they're already using ChatGPT or some other AI service to help them with their jobs. But it's much better when they're using the Copilot stuff because then we know everything's secure and safe and keeping company information inside bounds.
Chris? I see it having a massive impact. It's going to change everything we do on a day-to-day basis, whether it's in work or outside of work. Just asking ChatGPT, hey, I have these few things in my fridge. What can I make for dinner? It's just a really simple example of how you can leverage the technology. But when you think about that and how that can expand to the business of, hey, we're really trying to market to this new environment, give me some ideas on how to do that. Everyone in the organization is going to be adopting some sort of generative AI. I would love to have a way of automating my email responses, drafting an early email response for me for every email that comes in just to make it a little bit easier. It has all the knowledge of how I write. It has all the knowledge of my email history, my OneDrive, my customer data, and it can give me a fresh email response right away if I wanted to. There's so many changes that'll just make us way more efficient so we can spend more time adding value to our customers, adding value to ourselves, and adding value to our family lives as well to keep that balance.
Well, building on that, one of the key concerns customers have about adopting AI is maybe they will lead to job loss. And some customers are concerned it may impact their own jobs. And to this extent, I have a personal story to share. So my son is a coder. He started coding when he was 8 years old, and now he's 17. So he was the first one who told me about GitHub Copilot, because I didn't even know they were creating GitHub Copilot, and he signed up for early access. So one day I picked him up from school, and he looked so depressed. And he said, "Oh my God, Mom, I don't think I can be a coder because GitHub Copilot can code better than me. So what am I doing?" And then 10 days later, he came back to me. He said, "I have never been more excited about coding, because now I don't have to do the copy and pasting and the quality check anymore. I can truly focus on creating new experiences and new apps and being the coder I've always wanted to be." So my last question for both of you is, how do you think Copilot will impact your own career?
I think it's already impacted my career. It's an amazing feature that I use every day now, and now my company's using. And I think there's going to be a separation between companies who adopt AI and then the ones who don't, right? Because it's already there, and if you're not making use of it or planning to make use of it, I think you're not going to stay cutting edge. So yeah, I'm really excited about where everything's going.
Thank you.
Yeah, in my personal career, it's already impacted me. I learned C# in a weekend. I wrote an API in C# in a weekend with having zero background in C#. I know Python pretty well, but I don't know C#. I had a requirement to do something in C# and I was able to do it. I just see that growing with everything that I can do. We'll be able to develop things faster. We'll be able to get customer needs faster, internal or external customers. I deal a lot more with internal customers in my role, but just capturing the meeting notes, turning those into user stories, taking that user story, turning it into a task. The whole development lifecycle can get faster on that side, which then means I'm delivering back to my customers that much faster from the development side. I'm excited to see where it goes, and yeah, I'm all for this.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And now we have a few minutes, so we're going to open up to the audience if you have any questions for these two gentlemen or myself. We have one question here.
What's involved, take your yacht sales. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of new information and data to take advantage of Copilot. So I'd like you to pull back the curtain a little bit on what needed to happen before you were able to go live with the app.
Definitely. I think the most important thing is you've got to have all of your data either in or connected to Dataverse or Dynamics 365, right? And it doesn't all have to live there, because Customer Insights allows us to pull in data from different sources and combine that together. But once your data is there, there's not really much for Copilot. You don't really have to train it too much, because it's kind of focused on the different roles it does. And so once you have all your information, it just kind of works.
But what was involved in pulling all that information in?
Pulling the information in, that was a process because every data source is a little bit different. But the ingestion services, I would say, we started way back when Preview was there. It took a while. Now it's pretty easy to ingest a new source. Matter of an hour or less maybe for a new source, depending on how much data you have. Yeah.
Thanks.
And the whole map, match, merge process works really well. Yeah.
All right, we have another question here.
Hi, thank you for sharing your stories. It's very, insightful for us sitting here at the front, and you see us nodding. My question is more for you, though. You showed us how Copilot can be used with Dynamics. Is there opportunities to maybe use Copilot with Azure DevOps, or is that in the roadmap? Do you know?
That's a great question. Definitely. So for Microsoft, when it comes to AI Copilot, we have two strategies. One is we want to offer out-of-the-box experience on AI, and that's why we've embedded Copilot in Dynamics, also in Office and Teams, in Modern Work. And the second strategy is we want to offer tools for our customers to build their own AI experiences. It could be customer-specific or industry-specific. So we have a lot of tools within Azure that can help you curate and create your own AI experiences.
I have a question. That is, what do you think is, in this new context, the help that you can receive from traditional consulting companies and system integrators in getting your job done?
So I'll actually speak to that because I actually use a consulting company to help me. They're kind of just my extra team, my extra resources on that. From a consulting point of view, bringing in that experience of having done it is very important, and having that knowledge base. I'll be honest, Copilot's actually very easy to teach yourself how to do it, but it does help from a consulting standpoint. We've done this, we've implemented this, and how do we drive that forward for a customer to get that value even faster? That's kind of my opinion on it because I deal with that side as a customer of an implementer who's helping us do this work. So.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, it's nice to have a partner guide us down the path because we haven't gone down that path yet. And sometimes we're blazing the way with a partner together. It's still nice to have that partner there to help us.
Mm-hmm. Right. I just want to close by saying that in this new era of AI Copilot, all the companies will become technology companies and all the technology companies will become AI companies. So we're here to support you on your AI journey. So come talk to us after. Thank you so much.